Here we go, fellow nerds. We are excited. Let's go. How are everybody doing over here?
We're doing good.
Let's go. I'm excited having Nick, having Luis here. Luis, I want to go to you first because I know you're one of the first ones that hit it with Mortal Kombat. Coming this like Friday at HBO Max, and of course at theaters as well. So, what are your thoughts? Spoilers, my guys. It's gonna be spoilers all the way around. If you haven't seen this movie,
you haven't seen it.
Go ahead. I don't know.
I loved it. Being a big fan since '95, when I was just a little chum in a way. Watching it in the OG movie back in '95 in a little theater in my hometown in Puerto Rico, and seeing the movie today. I mean, the franchise has grown, and in my eyes is the greatest fighting game franchise right now. We can debate this on another day with other franchises itself, but I love the movie. I love the direction that they went. I was hoping that they didn't throw the kitchen through the window in a way with this movie and try to, fill every fantasy in a way. So I love the storyline. I know that there were some few pages that, they didn't agree or were disappointing in that regard, but I loved it. The way that they developed the new character, Cole Young, that storyline, where at least in the 7 minutes of the pre-opening scene, when we saw that fascinating story about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, unleashing in front of our eyes, we had an idea of, okay,
that's part of the whole movie.
I know where Cole Young character was gonna go to in that regard. But I loved it, like the way that they developed the characters. But to me, the surprise character, I don't know if you guys agree, for me was Kano. He was hilarious. That dude is crazy.
He was actually, I think he was us. Like, I think he was the audience. I think he was acting as us, how we react in the Mortal Kombat universe. Like, for real.
I know. And I know that they changed the backstory of the characters in a way. Not only Jax, who was the most obvious retcon change from the games to the movie, but the way that Kano's got his laser eye, Sonya Blade as well, not being a chosen one or part of the chosen group from the beginning. And, I love how they are in a way moving to set a base of the franchise and moving forward. So I'm thrilled, I'm thrilled.
You can go ahead, Nick.
Yep, I feel him on that. I was excited. I took it a little bit different than a lot of people took the movie. I loved it right off the bat, 100%. But everybody's saying that this was a whole, like, the young storyline. And I think this was a whole movie about Scorpion and everything that he had to do in his bloodline. And they just kept bringing it back and bringing it towards it. And so I think that was how I kind of looked at it for me personally. I thought it was dope. I thought Kano was one of those characters that I couldn't wait till he died. That's just me. I just that type of character.
He was annoying. He was annoying. I get it. Like he was.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, he had funny parts, but it was just like, no, you putting it on a little thick now, big guy. Like I'm ready for him to get done, and the perfect character to do so too. And I loved one of my favorite characters in the actual video game growing up was Jax. I love how we got a prequel and slowly learned the different ways of how that happened. I haven't followed any of the new video games, so I don't know if they actually go through that. And it shows his arms getting frozen off, and then little arms, and then big arms. But it was a dope thing for fan service for me as a Jax fan. So
yes.
So my thing is I don't know how in the games they actually didn't gain the powers this way. So they actually did it this way for, I guess, making it different, unique. A lot of people didn't like it. I didn't mind it. Whatever, it's Mortal Kombat. Let's enjoy it. It's not an Oscar bait movie. It's all about violence, a video game movie, of course. I admit I still love Mortal Kombat 1 better than this movie. I still love more like the one, even though I like this one. First, let me go on the opening scene, of course. One of the best, 7 or 9 minutes. For me, the best scene is right there. Like the opening scene, one of the best. Like when you see Sub-Zero coming in, like you see like the windows frozen. Oh God, they're going the horror vibe, like Michael Myers, whatever. Like you see like the windows freeze a little bit, and then like, oh my God, he's coming. And then you see the great actor. He's a lot of. I think he was in the Raid movies.
Fast. I think he also Fast either 8. I think it was where he was fighting. I think it was Toretto in the semi truck, high tech semi truck with that fighting scene as well. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw that 7 minutes, the first thought that I went through my mind was, damn, Baihan is an a-hole. Like the way that he tortured the family at the beginning, you know, and he knew that he was going to kill them right then and there. And I go like, wow, they're going so like 180 with his character and the development and making him, you know, in a way, yes, he's not the bad guy completely, but for that particular storyline, like Nick said, I think like this whole storyline was based upon Scorpion's, or I would say Hanzo Hasashi's, you know, bloodline, and you know, Cole Young getting that revenge for his, how you want to call it, grandfather, great grandfather, you know, ancestor, whatever you want to call it. So I think that, you know, the beauty, the beauty of it. I mean, but that's my first thought when I saw that scene, Ricky, when you said about the Michael Myers thing with the window and the blood, and it's like, damn, Sub-Zero is an a-hole. Like, what the hell?
I love him.
We're not saying another word.
I just want a solo movie with Sub-Zero. I'll be fine. That's all I need. Just giving like a standalone Sub-Zero movie. That's the type of movie like will bring a lot of money for sure. But exciting.
Everybody wants him to bring back Sub-Zero over Johnny Cage. I tell you that much. So.
Yeah, like that was trending too. Like there are a lot of people like say they want to play Johnny Cage. A lot of people are disappointed again. Okay, let's go to the business side of this movie for a minute. For me, Warner Bros. Should have called it a prequel just in case, because there's always been tournaments around the world, but this is, if you're going in expecting something for the casual fans that don't follow a little bit of the Mortal Kombat, whatever, you should call it a prequel, I guess, like in the opening title, whatever.
Something like they did with Batman, like Batman Begins or something like that sort. I agree, Ricky, with you.
Even though they don't know the character, the protagonist, that I really didn't, honestly, I didn't feel the charisma with the actor, the leading role character. I want a little bit more of the Scorpion as the father. Again, I think I want the Scorpion Sub-Zero movie. That's all I think all I ever wanted. Like when I saw those first 9 minutes, I will stay there for 2 hours in that world for sure. But again, it was a great movie. My bad, not great. It was a good movie, an okay movie. But I'm interested. Hopefully, it does well in the theaters. Let's see. I want to see the second one with Johnny Cage. With hopefully, I don't care who plays it. Hopefully, it's a better improvement overall for the second one.
I think they're being cautious with it, like they did with this movie. You know, they are treating it in a way with respect, you know, and they understanding of you know, the fan base. You know, we want that, you know, that greatness of the video games and stuff like that. So whoever they pick for the rest of the characters, and another thing that got me worried was the first few characters that they picked, especially on the villain side. I go like, why they're getting all these weak ass characters? Like, it didn't understand. But now when the story developed, it goes like, okay, if they're gonna kill some characters, better not be someone like high tech or with a big bang. So I didn't mind, Nitara getting slashed in half like that with that fatality. Like for me, that was the coolest fatality that they showed. Kano's, Kung Lao's fatality with the spinning blade. It was so awesome, rendering from the video game as well. It was cool how they brought those fatalities, in real life.
Yeah, man. Like
even the language.
Dude, it's how I'm gonna say the language. Exactly. No. And the other thing that I really love about that movie is, of course, every time they actually, like, for example, every time they edit like the fighting scenes, you can see like the details a little bit. For example, that Kano scene, every time he was talking his whatever crap he was telling most of the time in their fighting scene, and they were like eating together as like they were trying to train him. I like that scene when they're trying to like pump it up to see the powers a little bit. I like that motivation a little bit because every character needs some motivation to get their own power, like a metaphor thing. I really enjoyed that aspect, so I'm okay with it. I know people have some problems with how they gain their power, so I don't mind it. Again, it's a video game movie. I enjoyed it as what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what people got to remember. At the end of the day, it's based on a video game, and it entertained you, and it was a good time. So, like, what more do you want out of it? I couldn't tell you.
And, like, the only thing that I love for the first one, again, is the soundtrack. I did miss the soundtrack a little bit in this movie. So I'm like, come on, guys, give me that soundtrack. I know we got at the end, like, the disco techno version that I really like. And I'm like, man, you should use this little bit more in the movie. That'll be pump me up a little bit. But overall,
it would have been. Yes, it would have been perfect on that. Start with Scorpion and Sub-Zero when that music hit. Would have been perfect right there on that soundtrack to hit it. I would have. It would have flipped everybody's like emotions right then and there if they would have just at least the melody. You don't got to go to the actual Mortal Kombat yell soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm making sure you say the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I thought y'all better have Batman Returns on your 90s list right now if you're doing all this 90s stuff. Y'all feeling mad nostalgic on over there. So.
Well, like I'm aging myself, so I was born in '88, so I am aging myself. But you're right, man. The one of us, I'm gonna leave that for DC, but I do like the Batman movies, like the first one with my man, The Shining, Jack Nicholson as the Joker, of course, Michael Keaton. But yeah, man, we got DC. At last, we're gonna close that with at the end. But let's go with Marvel, guys. Let's go with Marvel. I'm really excited to talk about you guys with this. So many things going on in this episode at the end. Let me get the little pictures. But what are you guys' overall thoughts on the episode and the season so far? First season of the Falcon Winter Soldier. You can start first.
Go ahead, Nick.
All right, so I would just like to say I am finally thrilled and happy to have a Captain America that I can get behind and be a fan of. This is amazing. This is something that I never thought that I could say on camera. It is just moving in such a good direction in the MCU, and I'm loving every minute of it because Sam Wilson as the Captain America is probably one of my favorite parts of everything. Obviously, we said spoilers before, but just to look at that suit, man. Oh, look at that suit. The contrast with the it's like you have the original Steve Rogers, you got Iron Man's suit, and then like T'Challa's suit had a baby. And it's just like the perfect. I think I think the only one Iron Man suit would be over. This is number 2 suits in the MCU for me as it stands. I want to know what you think, but like that, It had almost everything, defense, offense. It was just really put together. Obviously, it touched on other things. I want to know what you guys think, but I don't think Sharon Carter is the power broker. I didn't get enough of a confirmation, but I know a lot of people are saying, no, she killed him. She wanted to keep the secret. It's official. It just, all of that stuff's question mark. I thought it was cool how they brought in the U.S. agent. That was cool too. A little hokey with him saying now it's black, but it is what it is. And to round it off,
I admit that.
Like to have the Isaiah Bradley statue now as being like immortalized, like that's pretty dope. So they touched on everything they needed to for what a TV show would be, and it had good action too. So.
Yeah, I love the way it started on the episode with Flag Smashers. Again, the most disappointing thing of the series was the Flag Smashers, but I think there was a situation again with the pandemic. They didn't finish a lot of shooting, and I think that plot was the problem a little bit with them and Carly. But overall, in that episode at the beginning, they were fighting, and then you can actually see this scene right here where you see actually the first time Captain America with his suit, and like I'm like, damn, they nailed it. Like you said, Nick, with the suit and everything.
Really accurate.
Dude,
yep.
It's crazy. I didn't even know like they're gonna go that route so quick. I'm like, oh, they went there really quick. Straight on.
Right from the beginning. They didn't wait whatsoever. It was like, you want it, here it is. Let's not just waste time,
They got to do that when they're about to tease a Captain America 4. So,
yes, sir.
No, they did not wait for that either. So that's really good.
Bro, overall, like you were saying, Nick, I love how Sam Wilson, the character, with his experience with psychology and how to talk to people, mentor people, and like just for the speech itself, I was like almost crying. The stuff he was saying, the social and political stuff that is going on in the world, and the stuff he was saying, I'm like, what? Wow. And I'm like, this is it.
He has an actual character development. He doesn't have just to get a super soldier serum and then becomes who he is. He had so many movies to lead up to this point, and then when it was revealed, we were like, yes, like give me that. That's why old Cap is garbage. Old Cap is garbage.
Oh man, don't talk about Steve Rogers. Poor Steve Rogers.
I'm saying white Cap from now on. Since everybody else gonna call him Black Captain America, I'm calling Steve Rogers White Captain America.
I'm just calling him, like it is, Captain America.
I hate the line that the old black dude said, like, oh, this is Black Falcon? No, that's Captain America. I'm like, why do you guys want to keep throwing that thing? I know you guys want to push the narrative, but you can call it Falcon. You already did it once in the previous episodes. You don't have to do it again. I'm like, don't say it again. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I cringe a little bit.
It's like one of those things where somebody tells you a joke multiple times, like you didn't hear it, and it's that same concept. Marvel wanted to make sure that you heard it in the episode or in those shows because that was their big line that they were looking forward to. And like you said, it just seems just whack. So.
Yeah, they just want to make us be like, we heard it the first time, so stop. We don't need to hear the punchline again. So
exactly. So like last week I did posted like this question. Let me go. My Wi-Fi is so slow, guys. Sorry, it's getting there. It's awesome. Let me take this out for a minute. And like this, if the public ever hear the Isaiah Bradley story, and of course it did. And I love every second of it, like the way Sam, even Bradley in a minute, I'm like, he's still like, you think I'm gonna fall for this crap? I'm like, I love his perspective because he's like the old type of like grandpa, thinking about stuff is never gonna change. You don't know enough yet to actually learn. Even like Sam says, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna I maybe die on this doing this thing, but I'm gonna try because I'm fighting for the people before us and after us. I'm like, damn, they went for it again. I'm like, because we built this country something like that. I think he said that we built this country, and I'm like, exactly. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, every like dialogue between Isaiah Bradley and Sam, that was like gold, straight up gold.
Meaningful, yes. And I think they have touched so many, especially in the Black community history. They touched so many points that of everything that they have gone through in this series, and you can see, like you said, Ricky, the contrast between Sam and Isaiah Bradley. You know, that old school grandpa mentality that you're not going for so much that you can fight a fight, you will not ever win. And then you see Sam saying, no, you know, we can change things if we put our mindset, if we never give up. And you see that contrast. And it was so beautiful, you know, every single time that Sam, you know, gave those speeches that, you know, sit you down and you go like, damn, like he's on point, you know. So whoever was the creative mind behind Marvel to choose those words and give credit to Anthony Mackie, the way that he performed made that impact even greater. Because words on paper, it doesn't mean a lot until you have that performance, and Mackie nailed it. And I think, and I agree in this case with Nick, when, you know, now in a way, you know, yes, I was a big, you know, Steve Rogers fan or whatever is the case, but now with Mackie's performance and the way that that he performed and his character developed, bro, like it's real nice to see. So I love the way that the writers.
I'm putting you on the spot right now. I'm putting you on the spot right now as a Steve Rogers fan. I want your ranking right now. Top 3 Captain Americas that we've seen so far. What's your ranking? How do they fall?
U.S. Agent is number 3. I will say with the development of the storyline, I will say Steve Rogers 2, Sam number 1. I'm honest. I am honest.
Ching. I want everybody to feel that way. I want everybody to feel that way. I'm with you though. When you say it, is because. Go ahead.
I'm honest. I'm not gonna go BSing and be hardcore or whatever. The way that they develop the storyline and everything, and because you gotta understand, Steve Rogers also went through a process of at fault as well. He always wanted to be that guy where everything is bright and pretty and everything like that. But for me, Sam nailed that. Everything that in a way we are going through right now. Because you gotta think as well. Steve Rogers came from another period, so his mentality is not in the same parallel as what we're going through. So that's why, in my eyes, the way that both storylines develop, for me, I'm honest. Sam number 1, Steve 2. Then you go with U.S. Agent in that regard.
Man.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Especially, like you said, Anthony Mackie had to deliver that, and I feel like a lot of that kind of was Anthony Mackie. He might have had like some say in the writing. If you know him as an actor or what he does outside of the
He's
MCU.
Good. People, I've seen a lot of movies outside. He's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like he's definitely somebody who can take on that shield, as you will, with that whole conversation of things. And so I'm with you. That's the same ratings that I had for my Captain America. I know Ricky's number 1 is U.S. Agent, but
it's okay.
At this point, Ricky, don't say your rankings, because
you don't need
it's a 2-1. It is a 2-1 handicap match.
By the way, I'm not going to answer that question, but I will tell that Steve Rogers I believe he's going to come back and he's going to be Commander Steve Rogers. I'm sorry, I believe he's going to come back. And again, the little shade with the when he was helping, somebody was helping Sam, and he was saying, "Oh, it's Captain the Moon." I'm like, why do you keep repeating that thing? And I'm like, okay. I think I want to see what the hell is going on in the moon now. Let's go to the moon. Let's do.
Bring Steve Rogers back, man. I want Sam Wilson to give Rogers the business. I want Rogers to come back crazy, mad evil, and then the real Captain America can finally put it to bed. Okay.
Yo, let's talk about that helicopter scene. Did you guys like it?
I thought it was dope.
Scene?
I
like it too. I like the
scene to be able to scan it, and it came up, and she had flown multiple airplanes, including like the helicopter and then the dual helicopters if you zoom in and stuff. So he really like trusted it, and it was just perfect timing. Everything was work. But again, anything with Sam's suit, even the fact when he was like fighting and she goes to hit him and his wings stab into the ground and make a solid base for him, like
vibranium. Let's go.
Just imagine if he had like the super soldier serum with the suit itself, he would be unstoppable.
Does he even need it? That's the question too. Like
exactly.
Like brought up.
I'm afraid though he can be killed easily.
You know, Sam having vibranium hits different than Steve having vibranium. We can all agree to that. So for him to be able to have the technology from his ancestors and at the same time pulling it into an American red, white, and blue, like that's what we needed right now. That's what I looked forward to. So
I agree. Yeah.
Sure. So we saw that helicopter scene. I loved it. And then of course we see. Okay, let's talk about Sharon Carter. I didn't even know her name anymore.
That's okay. We just don't think about past things. So
she's not. I'm like the way she reacted. She went to C to F. We didn't get explained A to C at all. Like whatever happened to her happened. Okay, 6 years. She suffered a lot. She told us in the episode she went through a lot. That's why she was at Madripoor. She became a crime lord. We believe that. She's really smart. She's a double agent. But I'm just gonna go here because the stuff she was doing, like burning people in a car, killing Carly like the way she did, killing Batroc, I think it is. I'm like, she did everything. She did the villain thing. Nobody saw her like doing the villain stuff. And she got what she wanted at the end. And of course, in the post-credit scene, she's have access to everything now. The power of the government. She can access to like the Iron Man suits now. Maybe get the vision thing going if she's like she knows where vision is eventually. My thing is, I'm gonna go here. Maybe they don't want to show it because it was too close to WandaVision. I believe she's a Skrull. She has to be a Skrull no matter what, and it's gonna tie up to Secret Invasion.
I had that down on my list too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had her because all of that to happen in the 5 years that she was gone, that she had to build this syndicate, doesn't make sense to me. So if she was a Skrull, she could just shapeshift into somebody who's comfortable with Bucky and comfortable with Sam, and they know her and they trust her. The same way that Zemo was like, oh, I've seen the Power Broker. I know what they look like. But then you saw Sharon and there was no like issue, no problem. So unless they're working together on something that they're trying to do back, I think that the Skrull idea makes and fills in a lot of the empty holes that they had with this, because let's be honest, we don't know what's going on. Like it's all over the place. So,
I mean, okay, saying Skrull is kind of like a cop out because Skrull, you can actually do Skrulls everywhere, and I hate that. But it's the only thing that makes sense, unless they explain it in another season with somebody else, and she shows up, kind of like working with Valentina. So I don't know. Let's see.
In technicality, we got the answer. You know, let's take it for what it is. Let's say, you know, they gave us the Power Broker, but I agree with you guys. I don't think she's truly the Power Broker. I think that she's like working for the actual Power Broker, but you know, I don't think it could be a Skrull at this point. Like I said at the beginning when we started again the podcast. At this point, I'm not going to even speculate of what we're going through because, like you said, Ricky, saying Skrulls or there's Skrull, it's just like a cop out in that sense.
Skrulls and multiverse is cop out.
Yes, it's like everything is so all over the place that we're trying to get accustomed to MCU and try to tie everything all together. And right now they have us, one arm pulling one way and the other with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the other arm pulling the other way. So we're trying to like get back together in one set of timeline and just follow the storyline really nicely. So I don't think we'll get that answer, to be honest, anytime soon until probably Secret Invasion. And I think Secret Invasion, the way that everything is setting up to be, we'll probably get all the answers tied up all together to move forward in that sense. So I don't know. Let's see what Loki brings and what, how everything ties up together, because I think they're just developing the characters to move forward in that sense. That's what I'm getting, especially with the end of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They're just probably developing the storyline of each character to move forward and then probably at some point connect, everything all together.
Yeah. But like,
get them in like space like uniform.
I'm gonna enjoy it. Marvel, like, I'm not saying that Marvel's like doing a like bad job. I know like I trust them. They built enough plant in the frigging Disney World. Like, they're doing it well. I'm like, I'm just gonna follow what you guys.
And I think
they already
put out right.
Two heaters, man. Wanda and the Winter Soldier. They haven't missed yet. So like,
yeah.
And Nick said it best the last time we spoke. I think that Kevin Feige, like, that dude is on another spectrum. Like, he's on another level.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop.
In the way that he's developing the storyline and everything like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Feige said, let's mess, with these guys a little bit. Let's assume.
He does that a lot, of course.
And there's always a plan. There's the way that everything is going on is for a reason. So, let's hope, that at some point, something big is going to happen, and it could be at Spider-Man No Way Home when we get an idea, or Secret Invasion. So let's see. Now it's a Disney Plus series, so they gotta keep us in the loop, like attached. So what better way? They're doing what they're doing right now.
So much content.
Paying that subscription. Keep paying that subscription, man.
I
do have a question. The throwaway line that's towards at the end, I think it was even the post-credit scene where she's like talking on the phone after the whole thing with Sharon happens, and they're talking about like now she's got all of the ability to have all the suits and all of this, all of that. Do you think that that's going to directly connect into Armor Wars, which is what they're doing at the very end with Brody and their Iron Man tech and everything? And it was kind of just going from one Disney Plus show to the next to like attach the two? Or do you think we'll see Sharon Carter before that?
It's a nice way to actually put it. Honestly, it makes sense because you want to connect it series to series. Unless I'm going to go this route too, because I know Sony and Disney reached to a deal, a Disney Plus deal, by the way. They could actually tie this to Oscorp, and she actually is working for Oscorp and leading and giving her stuff. Because eventually,
man. I know you saw the green smoke bombs.
The
little spider thing on the truck. I can see you. I see where you're going with it. I see.
So, come on, you guys. You didn't see the last episode, the little green ball where she actually throw it?
Yep.
You saw that green ball in that episode? So you may be already working for, like, Mr. Osborn.
Yeah, Nick, that was a great question. That was a great question because there's so many possibilities that they can go through. They could tie it up with Armor Wars, like you said, or even, with Ricky's, input right now, like maybe, with this new deal from Sony and Disney as well, or Marvel, as well, they can tie it up with any type of storyline with the Spider-Man universe right now as well, with Sony and everything. So there's so many possibilities that I don't think they will go wrong either way. So let's see.
Yeah, I got some theories on Spider-Man, but let's focus a little bit on Bucky. Bucky, I love Sebastian Stan as an actor. I think he did a great job. Obviously, this is a Sam Wilson more like series, honestly, to help him to get the cap for it. But whatever he was dealing with the whole way on through and how he was doing it, I loved it. That scene with I forgot his name, but the dad of the guy he killed.
Yep. And
man, like the last line when he said like, but why you kill him? I'm like, I had no choice. I'm like, man,
that broke me a lot.
I'm like, I had no choice. And I'm like, it's true though.
Like, to a normal person, you can't explain what he went through and how it happened.
Exactly.
Even.
Like you can see even the dad's face when Bucky said, I'm gonna talk to you about your son, and I know he didn't die like that. He was murdered, and you can see the dad trying to find answers in his eyes, the way that he was looking for answers, like and trying to assimilate that information, like hitting him hard. And when Bucky said, I kill your son, and like Ricky said, I didn't have a choice when the dad asked, that was powerful. It's like the hardest thing that a human being can say to someone else is like, yeah, I'm the person that, kill your son or your family member. It's like, that was hardcore as well. It's like heartbreaking at the same time.
And to not have the answer why, like, oh man, like, whew.
It was hard. It was tough. But for Bucky, and like eventually I see him staying in the Marvel universe for a while. So I think he's gonna become. I heard Nomad, but I believe more the White Wolf. I think he's gonna become the White Wolf eventually because the connection he has with Wakanda makes sense.
Yes.
And he wanna leave that Winter Soldier name like far from him, so it makes sense to him become the White Wolf. Eventually see him in
them saying White Wolf, and then they're like, no, it's just Wolf. Like,
actually, it makes sense.
Like, they just throw that line in everything now. It's like, oh, look, it's the White Wolf. It's like, no,
it's the Wolf.
Like I only said that because in Black Panther world they call him Black Panther and like the costume, I guess. So I know comic book writers.
Character too. Like, let's not forget Stan Lee was mad racist. So like, we'll keep it moving from there. There's a character named Fu Manchu. Like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
But I'll let you continue, man. I just wanted to know if we're calling him Wolf or White Wolf. I just need to know for my Twitter blogs.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, Disney will decide. Yeah, they will. They will decide definitely. But again, I'm really excited what's gonna happen next. Let's move on now because we got news after the episode ended that we're gonna get Cat 4 with Sam Wilson as the main character. The writers from the series and the showrunners are doing it. We haven't no director attached yet, but so far they already wrote it. So it's crazy how they kept this on the wraps. So they already know that this is gonna be a good movie. I mean, a good series, and that's why I'm like, let's do it. And they release it like the same day the episode ended. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. What are you guys' expectations for this movie?
I want Lewis's opinion on it first, but I will say that you said it dropped like the same day after that. It's crazy that they don't even care about spoilers. Like, they just put it right out there. They were like, if you're not a fan, you're not watching it first day.
You're not watching it.
Forget.
Exactly. Exactly. They already know.
That's it was expected. I think that they treating the Disney Plus series as I don't know, like a measuring tape to see how well everybody is taking everything. And it's not shocking that they went with, releasing the story right away and say, hey, Captain America 4 is going to happen, with Sam Wilson. So I'm really excited, even though I joke about, Steve Rogers or whatever, but we need fresh ideas, fresh characters, and what better way to set everything apart and be like, we're going to move forward. We're going to continue making Captain America, but this is the guy that we're going to move forward. And in a way, as of now, Sam Wilson is turning into being the face of Marvel so far. Obviously we got to wait until all characters are start to come back again with
Easy
with the rest of Phase 4. But so far, as of now, he's the face of Marvel.
And think about how it's moving. I mean, besides Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, everybody's a different nationality, a different religion, genre, everything.
Yes.
It's interesting, man. It's no longer the Tony Stark show with all the white characters like Marvel started off. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yes, they're like now they're like expanding. I love it. Like this movie coming, we're not talking enough about it. The Eternals. This movie is gonna like bounce your brain up. Like that movie is like sort of like Game of Thrones a little bit because it's like the vibe before, like it's like the Greek mythology for Marvel in a sense. Mm-hmm. So it's how every superhero or how they gain their powers. So for me, in that movie, we're gonna see maybe in a sense how the mutants cross over eventually in this universe.
Somebody. No, I don't care what show.
I'm just waiting.
Like the little Mandarin short they did to try to retcon that. Anything, just put something out that there's mutants in here now. Like that's it. That's all I'm looking for, man.
No, the Fantastic Four news was great, but I think that like Nick said it the best. Like we need something. But I think that we'll freak out so badly when officially, they bring the mutants to the MCU that it's gonna break the internet and everything like that because everybody's waiting. Like now that the purchase is here, officially Fantastic Four has been announced. When X-Men comes in, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm good though. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm really good because the stuff we even haven't like the stuff is coming, and we like for example we got Blade. I think Blade, in a sense, before Blade comes, I think this is gonna be a tie-up with Strange of like I forgot the Multiverse of Madness. This is gonna tie up all this mad stuff going on with witches and stuff. This is gonna like help Blade and Moon Knight. My bad. Okay, Moon Knight is a Marvel series. Disney Plus that is coming next year with Oscar Isaac, the great Oscar Isaac. That dude is amazing. Wow. Moon Knight is like he's like the Batman. A little bit of the Marvel universe. So it's a little like a dark taste of what it could be. But there's a lot of stuff coming. I'm really excited, bro. It's like they have to do a separate show for like the Phase 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, you just brought up Blade. Like, is he going to be introduced in the Spider-Man movie? Like, that's how I was introduced to him younger. Like, when I was younger, like, where are these people coming up? We know now who the people are, but how are they going to be dropped into our lives? It's like, it's exciting, man. It's exciting.
So let's talk in a minute I want to let you guys thoughts on the news, on the Spider-Man news. Of course, Spider-Man comes this Christmas. Of course, they're going to like do a lot of crazy. So the movie's going to start how Spider-Man Far From Home ended. And we see Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man 2 all the way back from the 90s. I forgot the time like it showed up. But my bad, 2003 I think it was. Spider-Man
2002, yeah.
Oh my God, that went really bad. But yeah, and then like for me, Spider-Man 2 one of like the greatest comic book movies by that time, and like Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus and that's Alfred Molina. He's showing up in this movie. So I heard that he doesn't die. So he wakes up, and like in the world, that's what I had the plot details. And somebody grabs him. I don't know who it is, but somebody grabs him and somebody explains to him like, oh, this is happening. I think somebody's going to help him. It had to do with Oscorp. And I believe Sinister eventually is going to show up because the Vulture is part of this universe too now. Morbius, I think, is part of the universe with the Sony deal. All the slide.
Let's go. Such a good.
All the stuff they're telling us is a lot of lies.
6 are coming.
And I'm going to go here. Venom 2 is part of this universe. I don't care what they're telling us. They just want to say it because they don't want to mess with us yet. They want to leave that to marketing. But I believe Venom is part of this universe too. I don't know how they're going to deal with this stuff, but I believe Doctor Strange eventually is going to fix everything. And that's when every company is going to like, okay, Sony, we're done with this multiverse. let's now do a separate thing because it's too messy. I'll be honest with you guys. Eventually, it's gonna get too messy, and but for now, I'm gonna enjoy everything about it.
We need a snap, man. We need a snap because 50% of these characters got to die soon. That's all I got to say, man. Like, it's obviously not going to be a snap, but I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe something else, something galactic. But you know,
oh my bad, I forgot, Nick. I didn't hear you. Ooh, hey, well, we're gonna go there too, man. This is crazy.
A little bit of nod there.
Jesus Christ, I don't want to see him anytime soon. I'll be fine with Doctor Doom first, and but yeah, I'm gonna hear your thoughts on Chan.
I would be down with that. Makes more sense going forward with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Now speaking about it, that could be like, okay, and that's too crazy. How about like Shang-Chi trailer? I didn't ask your thoughts on the Shang-Chi trailer. Do you love it, Nick?
See, I took it for what it was, which is its standalone movie with all like its own identity. I don't want to say that it's the first miss that Disney Plus, like Marvel, everything is going to have in this like new phase that we're in, because I think that it's going to be good. But I just feel like it's doing more of like a Mortal Kombat, Bruce Lee type of like, let's get everybody in fight. I don't like the idea of having the rings be bracelets, but you know, it is what it is. I want to see more, I guess. I don't want to make any like judgments or anything like that. So, but from the first trailer, I'm not too excited. I don't care for Aquafina or Dasani or whoever we're going with. Like, the rest of it's fine.
Yes.
This is not Asian hate. I love everybody, but Aquafina got to go, man. Got to go.
Yeah, that we already know that she's there for
get my water at Walmart, buddy.
Comedy relief and everything like that. But I think but I agree with Nick. I took it what it is. It's just an introduction to a character. I don't think it's gonna tie in too much of any storyline so far until probably the end or mid-credit scene, in a way that we're gonna see. Okay, Shang-Chi is gonna go somewhere else, and we'll find out what other projects Marvel will have or how he's gonna go through any other storyline. But I need more, and I agree with Nick. The rings being bracelets, like, wow. Yeah, I don't know.
And yet they were like, we don't want jewelry on a hand because that was Thanos, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Like,
yes.
Maybe they'll pull a song and they'll be like, okay, the trailer didn't do too good, so let's fix it.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. I love this trailer. I love this trailer. I'm all about those song tracks, and I'm like, it got me on, and I'm like, okay, the bracelets I get. But you can play with the bracelets. It could be part of like the uniform eventually. If you think about it, on the Shang-Chi costume eventually could be in the chest or whatever. They can do a lot of things with those bracelets. Of course, they wanted the rings too close with Thanos or whatever. They want to do like rings and stuff like that again. So I guess they want to do bracelets. It's tough, but again, this is a comic book movie. It could be. I believe this movie is gonna be good. Honestly, I was gonna compare it as the Black Panther, but a little bit below that. But I think it's gonna be a good movie. I think it's gonna be a good movie.
It's gonna be a little bit way below.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting if they decide to bring anybody in. That's, like you said before, that's a break the internet moment. If out of nowhere they just bring in a character that we know, even if it's a secondary character. So
yes,
I believe they always do, but only for like the movies in the theaters. Like, for example, for the big pole movies, I think they do bring people like for surprises and stuff. So that's why, since we haven't talked about Black Widow, July, they're going to show up a lot of surprises in that series. And I'm like, whoa, this guy was here the whole time. So, for example, AIM, AIM is part of the company for like the Mandarin connecting to Black Widow. They've been in the like this all connect eventually to everything. So Mandarin's been with us since Iron Man 2.
3.
He wanted the Stark tech. He wanted the power of the super soldiers as well, because he's always been about power and control. And he's always working with criminals down below, but he's never been like called. He don't like to be mentioned unless Iron Man, I think 2. I mean, Iron Man 3, right? Iron Man 3 was it? It wasn't him.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of people working for him, but nobody want to like play with him.
Iron Man movie had it behind too when he was in the cave.
Exactly.
They had the 10 rings. So
the flag,
kind of connected, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's one of the first. So they actually struck it. So now they can connect everything. We're going to be like, oh my God, they knew since the beginning. I'm like, no, they didn't use it in the beginning. They're just waiting. If everybody see this movie, it's kind of like, I'm like, Disney is like, and Kevin Feige, of course, I want to pop by and off Kevin Feige soon as possible. That guy, there's everything.
With hats you can switch off, all of his different new hats that come out.
Dude, I saw him with the Doctor Strange hat. I'm like, this guy.
No.
He does everything on purpose. No. That's why he got everything planned out. That's why I love him. We're going to talk about a little bit of the DC eventually, because I wish somebody like Kevin Feige take over the DC universe. And like he plans everything.
Run out of time to talk about DC. I don't know if we're going to get to that today. So
yes, we got to, because
we good. So for example, like I'm like, man, the way Kevin Feige does the thing, wow, it's crazy. But let's do this, guys. I'm gonna go with the top 5 DC movies right now.
There's 5 DC movies out right now? I think.
For me, only 5.
I only know 3. That's weird.
Don't worry. So,
are we talking about DCEU or DC movies in general? I want to clarify.
DC live action movies. So it counts. For example, it counts like, for example, all the way back to Batman, like all the way to Constantine with Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
You messed me up, Rick. You said it has to be live action. So Lego Batman can't be on my list?
I'll give you that one. That's not fair, though. That's a great movie.
Now I know, too. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm going to mention my first one.
Okay.
Just to give you a little, for me, one of my first one from the DC Universe, Man of Steel with Henry Cavill. For me, it's one of the greatest Superman movies ever made by Zack Snyder. For me, it's the best Superman, and nobody can talk crap about that. He's the best Superman ever. So I got one. So I'm gonna hang over to you, Nick. What's your?
So that's your top. That's your number 1 in your list, or your number?
No,
5?
That's 5. My bad. That's 5.
Okay.
That's 5. That's 5.
Okay. On your list. So that's not your number 1 movie of all, like the DC.
No.
Okay.
It's gonna go. It starts with Man of Steel. We're gonna go all the way down to 1.
Okay.
I think we're gonna be on number 1. We're gonna be tied.
Tripping for a second. No, if I'm being honest and I'm picking what I think would be my top 5, I don't really think that it's as fair to put on the list, but I'm still putting it at the 5 spot because it needs to be talked about, which is the Snyder's Cut Justice League for me. So I feel like it being like a 4.5-hour movie kind of gives it an unfair advantage, but at the same time, it's got so much content. It was retconned. You get the Joker at the end. You get all kinds of different character building and development moving forward towards a good Flashpoint story. So I think at the end of the day that has to be a solid 5 for me, but it kind of cheats, so I don't want to put it at the very top.
True, fair enough. I won't say Zack Snyder Justice League yet, just because I'll be honest, I haven't seen it yet with everything that's going on right now in my life with all the business. So once I see it, probably that will change my list. Mm-hmm. But for me, good night, Papa. That's my son saying good night to me. He's going on bed right now. So For me, I will say I'm going to start it off with my number 5. And when I say the name, you're probably going to know where my list is going to go to, just because of this director's mentality. And I think that if they would have picked him to start the universe for DCEU and whatever they wanted to do, I think it would have been better. But I'm going to start with Batman Begins. At least for me, if you want to start a franchise the way that Christopher Nolan did with that trilogy. That's one of my
favorite directors all the way around.
I'm telling you, like, the story will be totally different if he would have been the man in charge to start a universe. And I got to start with Batman Begins on that point.
Yep, I touch on that too. Like you said, the direction would have been so much better in that way, and moving in to develop the characters the way he did. Because at that time, you got to remember, we had all the hokey Batmans before that. So we had the Batmans that Ricky's about to have on his list. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it was the first time that we get it to where it's Batman could have been anybody. It's an actual billionaire who let the power get to his head, and there's actual mentally unstable people. I mean, without this whole Christopher Nolan story, we don't get a Joker towards the end of it. I didn't even put that on my list, but that's a great movie in itself too. But now I want to know Ricky's score for sure, but I had to give you your props because Nolan over everything for that, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. You actually stole my 4th one, Luis.
Ooh, okay.
But
okay.
I'm going to pick Batman Forever. No, I'm kidding. Never.
Don't switch it now.
Never. Val Kilmer.
I thought you were going to go with Batman and Robin.
Kilmer is great, but no. George Clooney is great. Batman and Robin, but no. I'm sorry. Priest was awesome, but no.
How can you say that there was a Batman villain who then became a California governor? Come on, man. that right
there. Sub-Zero. No, but I'm gonna go like you stole my 4th, being your 5th, but I got Batman Begins. The way that movie started, the way Christian Bale portrayed the character, and we got damn Liam Neeson in that movie. Nobody I'm like, people forgot that he was the villain. I'm like, that movie's gold. That's why I got that movie 4th, the movie that introduced to us to. I don't want to say it, but yeah, Christopher Nolan. He's the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. The movie he brings to us every kind of year is like crazy level, great movies.
I'm with you on that. I like the fact that they all move into the next movie too. You don't get any type of gate. It just picks right back up where it goes. So,
yes.
Yep.
So what would be your 4th, Nick?
So my 4th on the list, I like this again. As the hat suggests, I'm more of a Marvel guy myself, but I appreciate good movies. And as a movie that can stand on its own and a movie that got me excited for even just a DC movie in general, it was kind of what I would consider their Guardians of the Galaxy in extent, would be Shazam.
Yeah.
Like it.
One of those funny movies. It has a great development and build. At the end of it, you get all of the characters that are going to be a part of that series. Kind of
great heart. That movie has a great heart too.
Yeah, like terrific villain. It's got, hype with Superman coming in at the end, kind of. Like, I don't know, it hit all the boxes that you want from a movie that didn't really have a character that not a lot of people know about. So
yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
I gotta say, I don't know if it was fate or whatever, but that was my number 4 as well. I love Shazam. It made me laugh as well. It was really good, in that regard. And I think it went away completely for what, Warner Brothers wanted to do with the DCU in that regard, because everything was in a way either dark or messy or, something like that. So I think Shazam was really refreshing in that regard and so appealing in that case. So I like a lot Shazam in that regard.
Yep.
Awesome. So for my 3rd one on the DC movie slate, I got the Joker from Todd Phillips, the director from one of the Hangover movies. But man, that dude, the thing that he did to that movie, wow, the mental health the way he tackled the Joker character, I'm like, man, that movie went levels. That movie went levels for me because it's really humanized that movie in a way, like for people that having problems. Obviously, you don't want to like, but you can go to that level, and I even felt sympathy in a way for that type of person, and like the levels that took you, and eventually it led you to become to that type of person, and that happens in real life to people that never get help, and I'm like, to trying to reach out and they can because economic reasons. And just for only that reason, I think that movie struck me in a different way. And that's why I put that Joker from Todd Phillips third in my list.
I didn't put that on my list just for the simple fact that I don't even consider that a DC movie.
Right.
Because when you look at it, like it's just a mental health like movie. If you take the Joker title, it stands on its own, the whole movie, even without the Joker title behind it. So I definitely give you that. And I love that. I just didn't put it on mine because it's not enough of that, like what you think of when you think of a
It's not part of like, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It definitely should be on the list. I didn't put it personally myself. So
yeah.
No.
Well, I'll be your third.
So 3 for me, kind of going in order. And I don't know, we might be on the same page, me and Lewis, because I feel like he's going to hit this next one too with the way that it brought up. But Dark Knight Rises, I wasn't able to put it 2. I wasn't able to put it 1. But if they didn't do a great job with Bane and with the switch of what happens at the end of that movie where she ends up being the villain, you've got the fan service coming right off of it, because we all know Dark Knight did such big things and they couldn't even move forward with the Joker. And to be able to have just something that didn't even miss that character, all respects to Heath Ledger and everything, but I feel like that movie didn't really miss the character of the Joker because it had so much development. And it was one of the longer movies that you sit there and you go, I didn't think that I was watching this for so long. It was just a lot of, you'll fall asleep or you'll get tired of something. And at the end, you're even like, I want more. Like, where's he flying into next? So like I definitely had to put that 3 for my list of Dark Knight Rises.
Let's go. Like it.
In a way, I'm not gonna go yet because I'm not done with the Nolan universe. But I'm gonna go for my 3 on another route because obviously you already guys know where I'm going with my DC in a way list. But for me, you gotta go with before Nolan came to the scene, or even in a way Michael Keaton. The guy for DC was Christopher Reeves. So I got to give him mention because he, in a way, carried DC Comics for a period of time, even though the last 3 movies went in a way, or his last movies went on a downward. But I got to give props to, the Superman movie and the way that storyline, that was the true inspiration for Ricky's number 5, which is Man of Steel, that storyline that he had combined with, the Superman movie and Superman 2 as well. So for me, every time I see the Superman movie, I got to like sit down and appreciate, the way that they were going on that regard. But, with that being said, I've given you the hint of where I'm going with my 2 and number 1. So
magnifying
glass. Let's go. But it's, for me, like, there's a lot of honorable mentions. There's a lot of, even though it's not Marvel, there's a lot of good movies in this universe. They try to do good stuff, of course. But I'm going to go with my lady. Number 2 is going to be Wonder Woman, the first one. The second one, for me, it sucks. But Wonder Woman is number 2 for me.
And I tell you, that's my number 2 as well. I'm not even going to hold you up.
It's like, honestly, it just hit everything. Just from the woman in power, and then the levels it got to show the representation it got, and the story that eventually connects. Even though the second I didn't actually like it that much, it just was like I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it. But the first one did a lot of great things, and hopefully Zack Snyder like do another one with her, because I feel like that character is really rich in that universe, and hopefully it does more. But for me, number 2, no doubt, is like Wonder Woman.
I feel like the Wonder Woman 2 did get a bad rep. I'm not sure why. I liked the movie. I don't think that it should be on anybody's top 5 or 10 list, but it definitely did what you wanted it to, which hit stuff. Obviously, there's plot holes, but you could do that same magnifying with Marvel movies too. So it's kind of like
exactly.
It is what it is. But yeah, I picked Wonder Woman because, like you said, you brought in a strong, empowered, like woman character. You also have this like love interest that's just like human at the end of the day, which kind of makes a nice nod to sometimes Marvel doing that same thing. But it kind of hit everything right. The ending was great. It was emotional. I think it's kind of bad that they brought him back into, but that's another reason probably why people didn't like it. When characters die so well on stage or on
they
film,
should leave it like
anything, just leave it. Yeah, and so it is one of those things. But I definitely had it at 2 because you said I couldn't pick Lego Batman. So
that's a good movie, though. I love it.
That was my top 1, but hey, setting up the rules, mess you up, for me, number 2, you already guys know, I'm going with Dark Knight Rises. Like Nick said, and he in a way, thought like me. For me, when Heath Ledger passed away, everybody thought like, wow, like, now what? Because everybody anticipated he will be continuing the storyline, and in fact, he was gonna be in Dark Knight Rises.
I wanted
that storyline that Christopher Nolan going back again to that, creating that universe is so amazing, and Tom Hardy personifying and fixing the character from Batman and Robin. It's like. So I gotta give, it was so cool to see, and I was amazed with, and sad at the same time, because yes, in a way it was a culmination of a story, but at the same time it left open the possibility of what can happen, the story can continue with it and everything like that. So that was, if a trilogy can leave you like that, wanting more after probably 9 years already since the last movie, man, like what could have been the possibilities if he could have continued with DC in a way?
Yeah, that's true. That's
what lost me afterwards, is going from Nolan into other movies. Like, it made it hard because you had such a pedestal. So I feel like they kind of did it to themselves, but contracts are contracts, but the amount of quotable lines in Rises too is out of the world, like crazy. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
If you have to put your hand over your mouth and done a Bane voice, you're not living. So
true.
Honestly, let's go for it, guys, because I know where we're going. So everybody just mentioned because it's
just check like the Dark Knight, set it up.
Yeah, Dark Knight. Not only a comic book.
I'll say it. So
yeah. Honestly, it's just not only a comic book great. Like, it's not only comic book, it's everything. Just levels. It was levels to this. Like, I would compare it like to great movies like Lord of the Rings, just in case. There is a lot of takes eventually for Lord of the Rings. I want to bring that up eventually when we talk about Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. I want to do a show of that too as well eventually.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Harry Potter, I haven't seen one of them.
And you watch Lord of the Rings? What are you doing with your life?
Wow.
I remember growing up, of course, I had to choose. I think it was December. They always showed up about the same time, I think, whatever.
Yeah.
I always pick Lord of the Rings first. I'm like, I don't feel Harry Potter. Like, it never got to me. I know there's a lot of people love Harry Potter. I watch them every now and then, but I don't feel like the thing like everybody.
I'll be honest. I used most of the time Lord of the Rings. At some point, I fell asleep for whatever reason. It was like my bedtime movie. Because at some point, it was just like the trauma. Like, I don't know. For me, that was me. But come on, Ricky. I'm surprised you haven't seen any Harry Potter movies.
Sure, I'll tell you that much. Lord of the Rings franchise is a sleeper. So
yes,
we'll let you do that as you will. So.
they're kind of long, of course. You have to sit through a lot of things, of course. But that's the journey, though. You love the journey that it brings to us. I'm like, I felt it. going
I
on.
can't believe you're going to bring up Lord of the Rings on the same level as The Dark Knight. That's just very blasphemous. To me.
Yes.
I just
let's go back to The Dark Knight in a way.
What do you mean? Like it is like bad, honestly, to bring it close. Like it's too like.
I don't put them even close to each other. No, I would put like Avatar, Titanic, all those over like Lord of the Rings. But that's me personally. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
By the way, Titanic, not a bad movie. When I I tried to like segue it or everything, but
this man is stuck in the 90s. Somebody help! Get this man
if there's a reboot of the Hot Tub Time Machine, Ricky will be the main character right there. You know?
I'm in.
You already know.
I'm in. But yeah, man, like, so, yeah. I was really, so we got Dark Knight. I got Wonder Woman. We got the Joker. I wanted Shazam. You take my Shazam away, so I don't want to pick Shazam at all. So I got Batman Begins and Man of Steel rounding up my top 5 movies. Hopefully, there's a lot of great movies coming, so let's see what happens next with this thing. We got Black Adam as The Rock coming soon. I think it's next year, if I'm not mistaken. Just the movie's coming, so it's connected with Shazam. So let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
What are your like?
I thought that was going to flop until I heard that they were going to do some type of Shazam connection. So I don't know. I don't see him as that role or as that character. I don't know enough about DC to be like, oh yeah, he's perfect for the role. I think it was more of like he's free. Let's get him to sell some tickets. Like I don't know how I'm feeling that. Whereas like The Dark Knight, you got all of these different characters and all these different people you brought in with Harvey Dent, and you got the great Sirius Black in the Harry Potter franchise as Commissioner Gordon. So it goes without saying that's a star-studded cast, and then you bring it back to Black Adam, and it's like one heavy hitter, and then kind of like
everything else. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think for me, they have been prolonging just because. You know, The Rock's schedule is so freaking busy right now. He's all over the place that everything gets like in a way pushed over a little bit back and back and back. And I think that the Black Adam movie is push is like starting to die down, and not everybody's gonna be like too intrigued of that storyline. So let's see what happens with Black Adam. You know, hoping for the best. You know, in everything like that, just to have a DCU momentum going on in that way. So,
yeah, definitely.
When they gonna fix Green Lantern, man? That's what I want to know. Everybody's moving forward. You know,
yeah, we got Flash.
You know, I'll be honest. When Ricky texted us about doing the top 5 DC, I was gonna put Green Lantern at number 1. You know, that fantastic.
Let's go.
Storyline and stuff like that. You know,
full crossover. You know,
so. But no, I agree with you. Like, when is the time? You know, like
let's close this amazing show by talking about the upcoming slate of the DC movies. Yep. So I'm really excited to see the new Batman take with Robert Pattinson. I know a lot of people hate on him, but the director of this movie is the guy who directed the Planet of the Apes movie, the recent ones, and I really enjoyed them. So I don't know if you guys follow the Court of the Owls comic book version of the Batman take. I think he's going to bring that to the movie, just in case the Court of the Owls show more the dark side of the Wayne family than more than anything. So I think we're going to see the other perspective of the Wayne family, that they weren't like that great. They had the dark side too. So I'm really excited to see that take as well. Have you guys heard any news? You saw the last trailer of that Batman?
I'm looking forward to it. I think that everybody wants to know, yes, I am Team Edward, but moving forward with the actual Batman movies, I think it's going to be a dope character. I think that it's going to be more of like a Arkham Asylum, like he doesn't have his hands dirty type of Batman character, and that's what I want to see moving forward. And it's funny that you mentioned I didn't really get into any of the comics growing up for reading the comics or watching like anything besides Justice League, but I watched Gotham that was on there, and they did a lot about the owls. And so I feel like that's going to be a nice storyline to just have like, oh, what? Like old rich white people are evil? That's crazy. I couldn't see that coming. Like, so I definitely think that it's going to be an interesting take on the way it moves. And I hope they do what other Batman films have done, which is subtly bring in other villains. Maybe Batman and Robin, not so subtly bringing them in, but, you know, just kind of plopping some people in gives you more. So.
Yes, I'm really excited too. It's a new perspective, you know, another point of view from a new director. I'll see, you know, how we can, you know, take the storyline and everything like that. I'm really happy that they didn't go right away. Oh, you know, let's do an origin story right away and then immerse in this storyline. So they're gonna jump in when, you know, from when he is already, you know, Batman and move forward. So I like that idea as well. Because obviously, how many times it's been like 2 or 3 times already that we have, you know, done an origin story in a way for Batman with Batman v versus Superman, and then, you know, the Dark Knight as well as Michael Keaton's rendition of the Dark Knight. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait to see this new movie and how everybody, you know, dwells in. And I hope, like Nick said, they bring, you know, some, you know, all villains, you know, in a nice, subtle way, not like Batman and Robin and, you know, smash them into one movie and here you go.
I feel this movie is going to be really dark, really, really dark. I don't know if you guys who know who Paul Dano is, but that kid is a great actor. He's going to be the Riddler. Just check on him. He's that dude. He's really good. But that movie's gonna be, I believe that it's gonna be really good. Now we got Flash coming. That's gonna be a crazy one too as well. But my thing is, again, DC's like all over the place.
There's a new rumor about the Flash when they released the logo of the movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I don't know, you know, how much power that rumor is, but you know that we already know that apparently Ben Affleck as well as Michael Keaton will appear in The Flash.
Yep.
Now there were another rumor, and if it is true, it's gonna be really sick because this will be the first time that there will be 3 iterations of Batman, and apparently Christian Bale is in negotiations to reprise his role as Batman. So I don't know what Andy Muschietti is doing as a director of The Flash and his storyline of Flashpoint, but it happens, I mean, it's going to be crazy what they're going to do with that storyline, especially with
another 4-hour movie, man. Like,
basically, yes.
That many Batmans in, like, and who's going to go after Christian Bale? Like, that's the question. You got to end on that because that's the mic drop moment, I guess. So George was busy, I guess. I'm not going to the Flashpoint movie unless Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy. I said it here live.
Let's go.
We need Cyber Sub-Zero coming in and join the party.
Bring me my Catwoman. Where is she?
Halle Berry. She looks the same. So just bring her back.
No, bring me my blonde.
Oh, you're talking about
what's her name again?
The one from Grease, or whatever movie it is. Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Yes, that one. Thank you.
You don't want Alicia Silverstone? We don't get Batwoman or whatever they ended with, Batgirl. Come on, man.
By the way, I think the Supergirl that's gonna show up in the DC movie, I think she's gonna be like Hispanic, if I'm not mistaken. She's gonna be the new Supergirl eventually. So I think DC's taking this route now just because the thing what happened with Cyborg, they're gonna try to like diversify. I think they're gonna make the new Superman with African American. So let's see how they're gonna build that up with that universe. But
now you guys know me with that. Is that actually in the comics, or is that something that they're just like colorblind casting because they want to be woke? Like, is there a duration?
Yeah, in the comic books, they're Supermans with black collar. So they're like, there's a lot of iterations where they actually been shown for like many years now. But people like they're saying like, no, I don't want it. I'm like, there's a lot of people again fighting with that thing every time.
for me, like I know, I won't say I know, but I can understand why DC wants to like diversify in a way the characters in a way, but at the same time, I feel like people are more jealous of DC in terms of keeping their characters as it is more than what it is Marvel, because DC hasn't done so often in the comics as Marvel has, where you get this many characters. And with even the rumors about Henry Cavill like stepping away from the role of Superman, and apparently, Warner Brothers moving with, having a black actor taking up the role as Superman, everybody was freaking out in a way as well. So I don't know. Let's see if they hit with, like Ricky said, with this new Supergirl, being, Hispanic or something like that. So let's see how it goes for them. Something has to happen with DC and Warner Brothers, because
you should just restore the Snyderverse. I guess be easier for them.
Probably.
But Zack Snyder
to MCU. Like, I guess my question to you guys as we're ending on DC stuff is, can they ever catch up? Like, they led comics for forever. Is DC ever going to catch up? What's the one character or the one movie that can make the DCU catch up to the MCU? Like, running
away from Warner Brothers. I think that the biggest
give it to Kevin Feige.
Obstacle is Warner Brothers.
Disney got to buy it, and then
I don't want to, but that's the only way.
Another stone for the gauntlet.
That's 10 rings at that point. That's 10 rings.
Yes. I think any other company besides Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers has messed up in a way that, in killing
they
franchises.
Just don't care. I think they don't care. Like, they feel like.
Why not the idea of, since Spider-Man is kind of like co-owned, like co-parented, why doesn't Sony just take on Batman fully and kind of build that whole thing as their name and their branch? I mean, they've got the time now, so
true.
I mean, and then think about like a new Batman PlayStation 5 video game, like for Sony. Ooh. Like, I mean, it's there for the taking. Somebody do something. Like,
you better copyright that idea or do something, because
it's live. Don't worry, it's live.
Because bro, you hit on the money right there. Imagine that.
Yeah. Yep. We're ready. I'm excited. But yeah, guys, we got so much to talk about. Eventually, so much stuff coming. Of course, follow us every Thursday, every Sunday. We always got fun stuff. Eventually, we're going to start playing with horror movies as well. I don't know if you guys like your horror movies, but we're going to start playing with horror movies as well. Of course,
what better way to watch like Halloween or the It movies at 12 at night or in the morning when everything is dark, creepy. Oh, that's the best way.
Oh, yeah. I miss that. I can't rent them anymore. You go to like a Blockbuster and they got this like darker area that's like usually PG-13 over R rating, and you're like, "Oh, this one looks like it's interesting." So
that's true. It happens. I remember those times.
Go back to the 90s, buddy. Keep going back to the 90s.
Why not, man? Where's the best times, man? Now everything's just like so lazy. Just sit down.
Instead of going to Blockbuster, now he's at, let's go to the Redbox kiosk and pick something in a way.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, again, we're going to play around with that. We're going to play around with our favorite directors right now. Again, where we can find you, Nick, and all of your fans all over the world.
Yeah, you can follow me, find me on Ask You White. That is my Facebook page where I post all my content. I'll be doing the newest one coming up. We're covering Phase 3 of Marvel, as you can tell with the hat. We're going to go in depth, see what we like, what we didn't like, and then see if Phase 1 and 2 is better than 3 or if 3 just takes 1 and 2 over. So that's going to be on the Mad Titan and the Wolverine, coming at 3:00 on Tuesday. So be ready for that.
I'll be sending you a message. I'll be down for that.
Yep.
I'll be.
I want all the takes, man. I want to know.
There you go.
Because I'm telling you right now, spoiler alert, Endgame's not top 3. So.
Here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
I love Thor Ragnarok, though.
Hey, you might not be the only one thinking that way, though.
That's right. And talking to Alex, he is top 10. So, we'll just leave it. But
let's go. That's a good tease. Let's go. How about you, Luis? Where everybody find you?
You can find me on all social media as Luis Torres Rodriguez. All content as well. Right now, you're probably going to see everything Mortal Kombat related. I'm a big fan of that. But Luis Torres Rodriguez on all social media.
Yeah, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. We're going to have this show drop in YouTube later tonight. Of course, subscribe, hit that like button eventually if you like this type of content. Message us, comment. We're going to keep doing this. We got like low-key comment, what if series. If you guys want Star Wars, I'm not really that great on Star Wars, but we can have fun with that too. Let's see what happens next, and let's move from there. Thank you for watching, and see you guys soon.
Let's go.